What's up, guys? We're back with a post from the Neville sub today. This one is called Imagination is the real you, not your outer self. You are your inner self, your imagination, not your outer self, physical body. When you say I am, you should be referring to your inner self. When you refer to your outer self, your mind has a hard time trying to believe your I am affirmations because your senses don't align with whatever it is you're trying to manifest. In your imagination, anything is possible, especially when your self-concept is good. You really have no limitations in your mind. Being able to genuinely associate the I am with your inner self will help you when applying the law of assumption so much. When you're able to do this, it will manifest your desires with so much ease. I'm going to break it down logically, so I apologize if lengthy. Just don't want to leave anything out. Make it as understandable as possible. When applying the law of assumption, it all comes down to what you know. If you accept and know that you are the inner man, your imagination, there is nothing else that you necessarily need to believe in. That's it, because you have no limitations in your imagination and anything is possible. You can be anything. Your I am statements will always be true. You will know for a fact that you are the person who already has what you desire, still in your imagination, but your real self is your inner self, so this is all true. The rest will come automatically. In Edward Art's video, How I Imagine, he talks about this in a very easy to understand manner. I suggest watching his video, linked below, since he breaks it down very well. A quote that stood out to me was, "Imagination is my real self, and where he is, the outer self, will go." When it comes to the law of assumption, I feel like so many people focus entirely on making sure that they're affirming correctly, scripting correctly, and just applying all these methods without working on their faith. I don't deny the effectiveness of many methods, as the main goal is to get your mind in that certain state. I just think people need to pay more attention to this aspect of the law of assumption. It really does make it so much simpler. It hardens your beliefs. A comment under the YouTube video I mentioned earlier really stood out to me. I'm going to copy paste it here. For me, it has nothing to do with believing or having faith. It's more about knowledge and knowing. I already know I'm the inner man in imagination prior to feeling a state. So there's nothing left to have to believe in or have faith in. I already know that who I am. I already know who I am. Know who you are really. Who you really are, and that's it in a nutshell. The rest comes automatically. The problem with most who follow Neville's teachings and the law of attraction is they associate the I am with the outer I am, not the inner I am. When they do their I am affirmations and visualizations, they're associating it with the outer self and outer world. So naturally, the analytical and conscious mind rejects it because it goes against what the five senses are sensing. That doubt and disbelief derails and sabotages the entire affirmation and visualization process. But when you associate the I am only with the inner man, then there is no longer any doubt, disbelief, or rejection by the mind, because it has nothing to do with the outer world and the five senses. If you're reading this far, thank you for taking the time to listen to what I wanted to say. Love you, and will support you forever on your journeys. And then he's got a link to Edward Art's video. And there are a few comments with a lot of engagement. The top comment says, "You need to remember who you are. Persevere, pick up and go. Waste no more time fancying the great person you could be. Let no more time slip by on the tides of idle moods. Train your attention to total absorption. Master day and night the control of your imagination. When you can imagine as vividly as your senses can perceive nature, you have become the master of your destiny. Repeatedly convince yourself that anything is possible. The more solid this foundation grows, the higher you can aspire. The luck of the beginner, the advantage of bold youth lies in the absence of limiting beliefs. They've received no false instructions from failure's devil, which is doubt. Experience should teach us to aim higher, to dream with rocket thruster flames powered by our own unwavering belief in imagination. Assume the power, seize the fire. And this person says, sir, your words are etched on my mental and spiritual wall. All right. Now, another one we got is thank you. Yes, this is a subtle distinction. I only got it, the difference between the inner and the outer I am, after years and years of working with various manifestation techniques, 2 years after actually reading Neville, not because it took years to understand, but because it's a subtle thing to understand. It's easy to do it wrong. I was applying the affirmations to the outer man, which of course is met with constant resistance of outer facts contradicting my affirmations. It's a very subtle thing to understand. You expressed it very nicely, although even so, I still wonder if this will still go over people's heads like it would have gone over mine a few years ago. I thought I understood it back then, but I didn't. To me now, I feel any resistance to my affirmations / assumptions, it means I'm not trying to work with the outer man, because for the inner man, the one in imagination, there can be no resistance because everything is possible there and everything is mine. Let me know if I'm missing something / misunderstanding. So somebody asked how, they said they love it. How did it finally click? I was in the thick of dealing with some chronic health issues and trying all kinds of meditations, affirmations, assumptions, Joe Dispenza, Goddard, LOA, etc. Very hard because I kept having symptoms, massive symptoms, and it was hard to affirm / imagine that they were not there. I was trying affirmations on myself as if putting on a dress. It wasn't working because I was still feeling pain regardless of the affirmations, so there was this constant conflict. Then one day, I remember it vividly because it sort of clicked. I sort of stepped out of my physical self. I imagined that I was not in my body, but just a few meters away from it, and that was really me, not my physical body, and that me was actually completely healthy. I played out an entire scenario of what it would feel like to be healthy and free and happy. And there was no resistance because I wasn't in my physical body. The symptoms were in my body, but I wasn't there. I was somewhere else. The way I feel it, I'm literally just a small distance from my body, say a meter away in my imagination, and that person is me, not my physical body. So there's a bit of dissociation. Going back to the dress analogy, it's like I can put this new dress on my old physical body. Maybe the size doesn't work, it's too small, I have to be someone else completely in my imagination and fully identify with that as the real me, and then the dress fits with no resistance. Whereas before I was trying to work with the physical without going fully into imagination. I feel like I'm not explaining this process properly because to me personally it was very, very subtle, hard to grasp, but at the same time, massive difference. Okay, so I think that this explanation on top of the original post that we just went over is clarifying what's really going on here. I've spoken before about the ability may not, like, not the ability, but the idea of kind of dissociating from your, and I've talked about how third person visualizing can be very, very powerful. A lot of people recommend first person, but in the case of third person, it's, you can visualize yourself and overlay onto reality those qualities and attributes that you want. So you see yourself from a third person perspective, but with the best posture, walking with the most grace, moving with eloquence, moving with confidence, and that confident expression on your face. We all know what it looks like when you see a confident expression, so overlay that onto your face. And by having this type of an imagination, it's you've detached from your outer man, 3D character body avatar, and now you're looking at this character that you're able to craft and create and put your own attributes onto. So it could be the style of dress, it could be their mannerisms. What do people with the confident tonality, confident mannerisms look like? You've seen it. You've seen it on TV. You've seen it in movies. You have met people in life, and you have an idea of what confident body language looks like, of what a confident air about somebody looks like, that confident aura that just emanates and can be felt in the room. And the ability to do that, that's kind of my own experience with what's being discussed here. The working on the physical without going fully into imagination, I don't have personally this type of experience with health, but I do in generally speaking. I don't have chronic health issues that I have overcome using these techniques, but I've mentioned this in other videos before. I never get sick anymore. If I do feel like a tickle in my throat or a cold coming on, I simply will do the actions that I know have worked for me in the past, such as making sure I'm well rested, drinking tea, maybe chamomile tea, or maybe putting some lemon and honey in the tea, taking maybe a Dayquil. I might take a Dayquil. I have this homeopathic medicine. I think it's called oscillococcinum. It's very hard to pronounce, oscillococcinum. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I take that, and other than that, I'll eat some soup. And other than that, and putting out the intention that I'm not going to be sick, I don't get sick. Then it's like I wake up the next day and my symptoms are all gone. Or if I even have symptoms, I might feel the beginnings of them, but they don't actually fully come to fruition because I have this intention that I don't ever get sick. And I haven't been like really, really sick in years. My girlfriend even had COVID, and we were intimate together, and I still didn't get COVID. So I do have experience with that. The dress analogy, going back to the dress analogy, it's like I can't put this new dress on my old physical body. Maybe the size doesn't work. It has to be somebody else completely in my imagination and fully identify that as the real me. And I think that this is a very, very valid technique because I'm going into this technique itself of imagining another version of you in the room. Because like this person said, if you're physically too big to put on that dress or put on that pair of pants or whatever it might be, or like it's going to cause resistance. And with this, you're bypassing that resistance by just going straight into the imaginal self. And as this person said, the imaginal self, the imagination is my real self, and where he is, the outer self will go. And that is true. I mean, just thinking about that, where is it that the true self goes? They go where the imaginal self goes. Now, that could be debated, but let's say that you imagine something very bad that you don't want to have happen, or let's say that you've been imagining, but you're not really imagining in the state of the wish fulfilled. You're imagining with this resistance. You're imagining saying, oh my gosh, like, I wish, I hope, I long for this thing. I'm so attached, I need this thing, whether it be the money, whether it be the relationship, the specific person. Well, you're not really in the state of the wish fulfilled. So it's not really applying because it's not been done in the right way. So as long as we're going at it with this open approach, with the feeling is the secret, with feeling the gratitude, and with feeling that already being true, I would say like 9 times out of 10, or I don't know, like maybe not putting a number on it, but you see it play out in your life that the things that you truly believe, and they could be limiting beliefs, will come to pass. So those things that you believe, and is this person saying that they don't know about believe? It comes down to know. Okay, so whatever language you want to use there, to me it doesn't really matter, because a belief is a knowing. yes, you may say that knowing is a deeper level, and that can be kind of semantics as far as I'm concerned. But what it is that you know is limiting beliefs in my mind. So if I know that it's hard for me to make money online, it's the same thing as me believing that it's hard to make money online. Regardless, you have no, so it comes down to what you know. You accept that your inner man, your imagination, that nothing is impossible for that person. So let's do a role play real quick, an example. And let's just use that because that's something that a lot of people are interested in this current day and age. A lot of people want to make money online. So if you know that making money online is a pipe dream, it's only for the chosen few, it's only if you get lucky, it's only if you have connections, it's only if you have an audience. And maybe there is a little bit of truth to all of those things, right? But what is it that we are zoning in on and honing in on? Is that where our dominant awareness is going? Or is our dominant awareness going that, look, more and more people are making money online every single day. More and more people are having successful careers online than ever before in the history of the world. The creator economy, or whatever label you want to attach to that, is growing at an exponential rate. There's millions and billions of dollars being generated in this economy. This economy is a new and burgeoning economy, which is almost like you could compare it to the birth of the internet itself, because all these people that are making money online are doing so and growing at such a rapid rate that it's truly changed the way that we consume media. We don't watch TV anymore as much. We don't do those things. So like, what is it that your dominant awareness is focusing on? There's kids that are half your age and younger that are 10 years old that are making money online. And if a 10-year-old can do it, then I can do it. And that's what it comes down to, is like, what are the beliefs that you're entertaining repeatedly over and over again? What is that story that you're telling yourself? And that's what's going to get you what this post is saying, the imagination being the real version of you. Because if the outer version of you is even doing all of the things, you bought the course, you read the book, you watch all the YouTube videos every day, day in and day out, you're consuming content about how to make money online, you're reading all the Twitter threads, whatever it is, but then you may even be applying it as well. You may even be making content. You may even be making offers, building a website, but truly deep down, you're telling yourself, oh, this isn't gonna work. Oh, this is just a pie in the sky thing. It's not really real. Like, I don't know, I'm just spinning my wheels. You don't really believe in it. You don't really know it to be true for you that you can succeed with this. Well, that's gonna be reflected in the outer man, the outer reality. So essentially, this post is saying some things, using a bit of different language, but what I think is really valuable is this follow-up post and that reply of what somebody said about the way that they imagine. And if you can imagine yourself as the inner you, and if you want to try using this technique, and imagine that third person imagination, whether you imagine yourself in the room, whether you imagine that your consciousness is now over there, but you're looking at this version of you that's now new and you're overlaying it onto the new version, you are now tapping into this creative ability that you have naturally, this God-given ability to mentally assert your will onto reality. And that's what's going to affect reality. That's what's going to change reality. But you got to be able to see it. You got to be able to see it, or you got to be able to feel it. You know, some people that don't have, they say that visualization doesn't work for them. Okay, well, affirm it. Affirm that that new you is the new reality, that this is possible for you, that it's been possible for all these other people. If a 10-year-old can do it, why can't I do it too? Find the evidence that it's true, hold on to that evidence, and discard, have a selective memory, and get rid of all the evidence to the counter of that. And that's where you're gonna have success. That's what a lot of people that do have success, they do. They have a selective memory. They only think of all the successes. They data dump automatically the rejections, the losses, whatever, and it's a necessary part of success, because going for no failing fast, failing forward, learning through the failures is the common denominator with anybody achieving success. I fell into the trap of perfectionism a lot in my life and believing that I need to do this and refine it and refine it and do this and make it perfect. Well, what happens when you do that? You delay, you put off the inevitable of actually putting that thing out there, of actually doing that thing. It doesn't matter whether it's going for the woman or the man that you want, or the money, going and starting that business, or asking for those sales, asking for those people to buy your product or service. It doesn't matter what it is. If you keep putting off the thing, oh, it's not ready enough, it's not good enough yet. Oh, I need to do this, I need to do this. Years will go by, months will turn into years. And you're gonna be 5, 10 years. How long are you gonna let go before you embody that new version of yourself? The time is now. We got less than 2 weeks now, or into the new year, into 2024. So the time is now, guys. And with that being said, guys, much love as always. I hope that this video helped. I hope it gave you something to implement. And with that being said, much love. Hit the subscribe if you've not done so already. I'm going to be doing more videos like this. So if you want more Reddit breakdowns, but also more posts giving you the tools to work on the mindset, on your mindset, on your limiting beliefs, I have an ebook down below that is linked. It's a free ebook on how to remove limiting beliefs from your psyche permanently, so that you can actually then replace them with the empowering beliefs like we're talking about. Exactly what we're talking about in this video. I have a free ebook down below. You can download it. With that being said, hit me with a like, and I will see you guys in the next video.